from Bristol in the UK, Professor of French Politics and Modern History at Aston University. Many thanks, James, for joining us here on TRT World. Now, there are four leading candidates who really stand out at this point, and it could turn out that only two make it through the first round, and one could be on the extreme left and one on the right. Why is French politics so polarized right now?
Well, there are a number of factors. I mean, what this election campaign clearly demonstrates is the widespread disenchantment in France towards the political establishment, the old elites, this system as it's being called. And it confirms how far French politics is in need of renewal in its leadership and in its ideas. The victory of François Fillon and Benoît Hamon, the socialist, in the primaries of the right and the left was an overthrow of some of the old leaders. And the breakthrough of Macron now gives the same message of a desire for change and a break with the past. But so much of this disenchantment that we are seeing played out is explained by the failure of the Hollande presidency. But we need to remember that in 2012, François Hollande was the face of hope and renewal. He disappointed massively, and now another face of hope and renewal is being sought.
Let's talk about voter turnout, because there's been a lot of concern that there was going to be a lot of apathy. We don't have official figures yet, but the figures from 10 o'clock GMT showed a slight uptake on people turning out to vote compared to last year. And anecdotal evidence suggests that there has been an increase in the number of people turning out to vote today. How does voter turnout, do you think, impact the results?
Oh, voter turnout is crucial, or can be crucial. It's one of the main factors here. I mean, there are three factors, big factors at play here. One, it's a fragmented vote with 11 candidates. Two, the question of how many people will turn out to the polls. Some of the predictions were that we could see a record abstention, and this would really have could really have a serious impact. And the third imponderable is the late deciders. For whom do those late deciders swing? Because as the polls closed on Friday, the last sort of surveys that we had, it seemed that up to a third of French voters were still undecided about their vote. So when we factor in the question of how many stay away from the polls or how many turn out and who the late deciders vote for, that could swing the election result. The thing to say about abstention is this: it will affect different candidates differently. In other words, Marine Le Pen is a good example of someone who has a very strong support base. When people say they're going to vote for her, they will vote for her. Other candidates have a flakier support base. I'm thinking here of Emmanuel Macron, for example. A lot of his voters aren't entirely sure that they're going to go and vote for Macron. So certain candidates start off with an advantage, and this is why high abstention could favour Marine Le Pen, because it might hit other candidates more than it will hit her with her solid support base.
James, very interesting to talk to you. I'm afraid we're out of time. James Shields there, joining us from Bristol in the UK, Professor of French Politics and Modern History.